5.3 ESDG UX Design Methodology. Leverage 4 UI design models. This series of stepwise refinement of the UI web app is accomplished via usage of 4 design models as established in the state-sanctioned ESDG publication. Namely, number 1, use case diagrams. Number 2, UI hierarchy modules. Number 3, UI wireframes. And number 4, UI mockups. Now, depending on the size and scope of the UI project, you, as UX UI designer, need not use all of these design models to formulate a solution. However, to use none of these design models in determining an optimal solution would be very odd, if not lackluster effort indeed. For you are the primary point of business IT contact as UX UI designer. You professionally live and breathe with these design models to create your own unique vision, solution, and prototype assets. However, with forthright candor and honesty, if you deem these design models to be superfluous task and effort, then you will never accomplish your optimum talent as UX UI designer. Here is a 2-part strategy to expand and strengthen your UX design skill sets. Number 1, review tutorials on YouTube, Skillsoft, or LinkedIn learning modules. Number 2, then when opportune, take a UX design certification course to validate your skill sets and comfort zone in executing this acumen. Now, onward to each design model rationale. Number 1, use case diagrams captures the top-level business and/or user navigation flow mission-critical logic. Hence, leveraging your UX design talent to decide exactly what process flow is absolutely necessary for this use case model to function. Number 2, UI hierarchy modules is a basic reposition usage of a company organization chart. In UX design, it is prudent to simply reuse an information model rather than create completely new model assets. A design model is a design language unto itself with its own icon definitions. Thus, we do not want business or IT folks to rememorize new icon definitions, but simply recall usage of prior models. And for UI hierarchy modules, it is as simple as it gets: rectangle and lines. A single rectangle represents unique UI models needed to support use case flow previously created. And this is also a UX designer judgment call, for you will base your UI wireframes and mockups prototypes off these identified UI hierarchy modules. Number 3, UI wireframes are bare bones UI mockups devoid of any color, graphics, or font typeface. This design model actually is far more crucial for business IT team collaboration than all other design assets. Rationale is the proverb, herding cats. Of course, anyone on a farm would know you can herd horses, sheep, goats, but it is impossible to herd cats. This problem you will immediately encounter if you bypass UI wireframes and present an enriched UI mockup with all the bells and whistles via color, font typeface, graphics. Then everyone will start arguing about what color they like. Is the graphic too much or too less social-centric inclusion, to use a tagline from our modern era? Or which font looks better subconsciously in a brand marketing mood. Thus, to completely avoid this pitfall, use UI wireframes to secure sign-off from business IT teams on its final delivery. Business can see exactly what mission-critical UI display elements are included, while IT team can have expectation of what will be coded and assembled by its team into hardware-software platforms. For a specific UI display element may require data to be pulled from multiple databases to aggregate the result. Thus, give IT team a heads-up notice of anticipated work at hand. Finally, number 4, UI mockups, also called visual flats. We will take the UI wireframe and populate it with all the bells and whistles, color, graphics, font typeface, etc. This is the final design asset business IT will see before handoff to application development team to code exactly what you see. The beauty of this strategy is that the business can make immediate recommendations on color, graphics, font typeface, etc., and it will not impact overall UI web app navigation, already defined in prior UI wireframes. Note that this mockup model is also called visual flats because it is generally non-interactive, but if need be, can have limited prototype functionality via incorporation of image map hotspots, or better yet, using our Texas HHS agency enterprise sanctioned UI design tool called Axure. Axure application can readily incorporate image map hotspots, mouse over actions for limited user interactivity just to review its site functionality. Depending on scope and mannerism of Texas HHS projects, for small to medium scale projects, you can bypass UI wireframes and start designing in UI mockups in the Axure application, such as our THCR, State Portal Theme, and PT Inquiry projects. However, for large-scale projects like a Your Texas Benefit, YTB, and Contact Center Inquiry, CCI, you better use UI wireframes first just to keep the audience in UI feature and logical navigation approval check, and avoid the proverbial herding cats. Now, with all these design models explained in detail, for this THCR web app project, we will only need to use 2 design models. Number 1, use case diagrams, and number 4, UI mockups. We will examine these in more detail in the follow-up presentation deck.